Hey guys, this is Eddie from Long Island Boaters Club, and this is another edition of On Board. Today we're going to go over how to change your fuel filter on a Mercruiser. Now, on my particular engine, I have a cartridge. It's one of the newer versions. There is a different type that we're going to be going over in another episode. So you're going to need the cartridge and the seal. Now you're also going to need a bucket, so when you do take it apart, you'll be able to put it inside of here. You're not going to spill any fuel in your engine compartment. To take the filter off, you're going to need a 1/4-inch socket set with a 10mm. A swivel's even better, and that'll take that off. The other thing we're going to do is inspect our Serpentine belt, and I'm going to show you how to take it off and put it back on as well. So you're going to need two simple tools for that. One's going to be a 5/8 wrench, and one's going to be a 8mm. Okay guys, I'm in my engine compartment, and we're going to show you how to change that fuel filter. So it is located right inside this canister, and the cartridge is inside of there. There's 3 bolts. There's one over here, one right here, and one up on the top. That's the more difficult one. That's the one where the swivel will come in really handy. If you get in there like this, and you can get it that way. That's the top bolt. We'll zoom out. Those are the 2 bottom bolts, and that is your filter inside of there. That's the canister. Now before I do remove the filter, I'm going to have to shut the fuel off. So I'm going to come to the back where my fuel line shut off is. I'm going to locate that. There's my port engine. I'm going to shut that off. So now I know no fuel will come down over there. And then I'll continue to disconnect the electric fuel pump on the end over here, which is right there. And I'll separate that unit. I'm going to separate it, push this up, and pretty much pull it apart. That disconnects that. The fuel's cut off from coming down on it, so that's all good. So now the next thing we're going to do is start taking that off. I'm going to start with the top one because this is the more difficult one. Now these bolts won't come all the way out. They are set to stay in there. So when you do loosen them up, that's going to be it. Okay, once you do have it loose, then you just wiggle it and pull it straight out. It'll come straight out, the whole housing and everything. Put it in here, and I'll bring it up top. Okay, real easy. See the little locks over here? We're going to spin it so it opens, just like that, and pull it up. Put that on the side. Pull the gas filter up. Dump out the old gas. With the rag, clean out the inside. The new filter in like that. And now the seal is under here, so you'll need a screwdriver to get that out. Well, let me go get a screwdriver. Now we need to take the seal out, so you can get it under there. Seal's out. We'll grab our new seal. That's good. Now we put it back together. And here's the lock. You see it goes in just like that. Then you push down. Got it? Put it in. Twist it over. And it locks in place like that. Everything looks really good. Now, real simple. Just take it. Put it back in place. Tighten these bolts. First, always snug tight everything. Okay, now you replaced your filter. I'm going to plug this back in, right there. Got that. That's your electric line. Okay, I reconnected the electric fuel pump wire right there. And now I'm going to turn the fuel back on. Now that's on. And now I'm all ready to start the boat up. My filter has changed. Of course, I'm going to run the boat and inspect it and make sure no fuel leaks out. Okay, so we changed the fuel filter. That's all set. When we start the motor up, we're going to have to crank it a little bit, let the fuel get in there. I'm going to come back in the engine, make sure that there's no leaks whatsoever. So now the next thing we're going to do is inspect the serpentine belt. And this is the serpentine belt. And pretty much you're going to look for cracks inside of here. Everything looks really good. I got a little bit of rust. And that's always a big thing to wear out the belt. So you always want to make sure that your pulleys don't have rust on it. Spray it with WD-40, make sure it's all good. My belts are good, but if I was to change this, the first thing that I would do, especially if I have a single engine, is take a picture of it. So I'd grab my phone, I'd make sure my hand wasn't shaking, and then I'd take a picture of the pattern of it. Or with the phone. The reason why I'm doing that is a lot of times, especially from working on cars, I can never figure out where this belt goes back. So I do have a second one. We'll get a manual. Make sure you know how it goes back once you take it off, because it could get confusing. As easy as it looks, it could get confusing. Now, with my boat, it's not a tensioner like a car. It does have a tensioner here, but it's adjusted. So what you need is a 5/8, usually a box wrench, and this will loosen it up and it'll bring it down. Now to bring it up, I take the 8mm as this is loose and I turn it the opposite way. So I loosen it up and I turn it like that and then tighten it. Make sure you want like a 1/4 inch play and then tighten it all the way. That's like a 1/4 inch play in that. That's the gears right there, and it goes up and down. And those are the 2 bolts that adjust it. Okay guys, we just changed the fuel filter on the engine. Showed you how to do that. We also showed you how to inspect your serpentine belt and change it if necessary. So we hope this information helped you out. Once again, my name is Eddie, and this is another edition of On Board. I'll catch you next time.